A really quick video, and actually I'm going to try to make this one actually quick. So these are 4 boxes that I made. There used to be 2 boxes, but I cut them in half because they were so big and so heavy. So they're the same height as the other 4 boxes, but again, they're half as wide. So you got the 22, and this goes to 33. That's just, or 32. That's just because it's holding these guys. So 1, 2, 3 base plates by 2 base plates. So they are 20 by 30 on the inside. So I designed it that way, but I did design it originally as 2 full-size boxes, 20 inches high, and that was 20 inches high, and they were just way too heavy. So I broke them up. I actually took a finished box that was already painted, and I put it on a table saw, and I cut each box in half. So now they're 10 high, 20 deep, and 30 wide. But they stack, so they're the correct height when they are stacked, and they fit into the layout as they are. Now, the top 2 of the boxes do not have the quote-unquote studs on top. And yeah, this is in the garage, so I'm using it as a shelf. Sorry. And storage. And that's so I can actually slide it underneath the table when they're empty, instead of like building them into the table, because it's just easier to take them out and whatever. So these are all the modules, and you can see sometimes they break, but the pieces are there, and the guys are there, and there we go. And this is another module, and you see the guys are all standing, which is kind of neat. They are numbered, so this is 5, 6, 7, 8, and then you got 1, 4, 3, 2, because that's the only way it would fit in there. That's fine. And then the 9th module is all the way down here in this guy, because I have 9 modules, and each one of these holds 4, so that's 8 modules. And I needed to hide a 9th somewhere else, so I hid it there. And so this is the bin that has the miscellaneous. This shelf has the miscellaneous odds and sods that have to go into the layout. So there's the train track, which all comes off and goes in here. These are the little, the doodads. I won't say it's scribbling, but it's whatever I put on the train tracks to hold it there. These are the pieces for the tower to hide it. These are the supports, the stanchions, the whatever you want to call it. For the monorail, these are my tubes, the lift tubes in the tower, so people can get to various levels. And these are the leftover yellow and black supports that I also use to hold up the monorail, and I'd like to replace all those with those, but those are just easier right now. And in the back, there's some miscellaneous pieces. There's all the shows that that I've done that came with bricks. So there you go. Brick Awesome last year. It was awesome. And then I got my gallbladder out, but that's a whole other story. So yeah, I went to Brick World a bunch of years back. I don't have my original Brick Fest on here. I don't know why. I went to Brick Fest once, I think in 2004. But anyway, a few other pieces. One of my favorite, Jeff Van Winden built this space for rent with Fleet Nork on it. So that always goes into the layout. Not much else. I do have, I take it apart, the building from the 928 Galaxy Explorer. That I have to break it apart because it won't fit in here otherwise, but that goes in here, and I do put it together at a show and put it somewhere in the layout. And then I showed you these 2 shelves individually. There's the one with the Galaxy Explorers and the 924s and 918s, and this is the other shelf here. So this one box has all my spaceships and vehicles in it. This box has my 2 shelves. This shelf is the monorail that I did another video, so that shelf is still in the basement because it has to stay there because winter's setting upon us, and I can't have my copperized monorail track getting cold and hot because the copper will get wrecked. So these 2 boxes stay together because they're all the shelving units, and this has 1 module, and then those 2 boxes with all the other 8 modules. And you can actually see where I've notched. This is where I did the wiring a couple months back, so the wiring can come through. I did cut into a base plate. Shh, don't hurt me. I wasn't happy with that. My jigsaw got away from me in this one, and I'm not happy that it got that deep into this base plate. I just wanted a little cutout here, And then, yeah, sorry. But I did only cut one. I didn't cut the other one. I could have made a nice little half moon there. So I did wreck one base plate, and I think it's just, yeah, it's just one 32 by 32 gray base plate. It's not a crater plate or a landing plate, but still old gray base plate cut by a jigsaw. I humbly apologize to all my friends and even me, because I'm not happy that it got that big, because I can't hide that very well. But there's a building that sits on top of that, so I'm not too worried about it. What else is interesting? Not much else. This is the front module. This is probably 5, 6, 7, 8. The train track sits on top of these guys, and then you lock it down by these black pieces. So these black pieces, after the train track's in there, just go in like that, and it holds the tracks in place, and that's it. So there's a little gap underneath these. And you take them off, and you take the track off. Now, I didn't want to build the track into, like, permanently into these things, because again, this thing stays up in my garage over winter. I don't like the idea of, you know, my steel track getting hot and cold and condensation and rusty and stuff. I was going to put black stripes on these guys at one point. I haven't gotten there yet. I was going to paint some black stripes on there. I just might get some electrical tape and fake it that way to make it look like that 1x4 brick. So when you're looking at it from the front, because these things are out front, right? So this is between, you got the one box over there, and you got the one box over there, and you got the OBB on top of that. And so this is what people see. So I'm thinking about just doing the black stripes on it. I might do that. You know, I got some time this winter, hopefully. Anyway, so this is 4 boxes, and I think that's it. So you've seen all 3 of those boxes here, and the one downstairs, and those 4 boxes. And I'll just give you a quick show up here amongst all my camping stuff. There's my 5 2x4s that I use, and then there's the gray rails. So there's the 7.5 foot and then the 5 foot's right there, the 2 5 foots right there, and that's the entire layout. And so you got those 7 pieces, 9 pieces, and then you got those 4 boxes, and you got those 3 boxes plus the one downstairs. And I do have a tote of, like a plastic tote of the electronics, the train controller, the connector wires, the RCXs, stuff like that. They're in a different box. I'm going to probably build a wooden box, as I said earlier in a different video. Be like a roadie, where the box has all the wiring built into it. So you just pull out an extension cord, you plug it in, and then you just connect all the wires coming off the layout to it. That's a plan. I don't know when it's going to happen. For now, this is what I got. It all fits into the minivan wonderfully. I might do a video of that, how this whole Tetris thing gets into the minivan. And still room for Josh and us and luggage if we have to go somewhere. I will say that the old 2009 Caravan held the layout better than our new 2019 Caravan. And that's just because we don't have the bench seat anymore. We have the 2 bucket seats, the stow and go seats. And when we had the bench seat for Josh, there was that gap on one side of the minivan. So there was that 1.5 foot gap between the end of the bench seat and the side of the van. And I could slide those things through. So these things were resting against the wall. Now with the bucket seats, I can't put that against the wall. And I can't put it down the middle either, because it doesn't work. Because these things actually sit sideways. One of them sits vertically right at the back of the van, and I can't. So it does take up a little more room in the van now than it did when we had the 10-year-old van versus the new van. But anyway, it works fine. The Caravan still holds them fine. In the end, I still get the shows. I think that's about it. I'm going to leave off. I'm going to move this other way so we can see that beautiful logo and do, that zoom into the sunset as we do a wrap on all these storage containers for the layout. I hope everybody's doing well. Drop me a line if you want to talk about anything. If you want something more detailed exploration of whatever, I got all winter. So everybody take care, stay safe, and stay healthy.